In this edition of the Parliament Report, budget signals tight spending this financial year, $2.5 billion in budget for retroactive payment to teachers, and public sector reforms on the horizon. The government has tabled a $544 billion budget for financial year 2011-2012. This represents a 9% increase over the $497 billion spent during the just concluded 2010-2011 fiscal year. The single-digit percentage increase in this year's estimates of expenditure over the amount for last year signals that the administration is seeking to tighten spending this year. A significant chunk of the budget goes towards debt repayment. In the current financial year, $131 billion has been allotted for interest payments and other debt charges. In addition, $132 billion is earmarked for repaying loans. As usual, the Ministries of Health, Education and Security get the lion's share of the budget. The Education Ministry gets $70 billion for housekeeping expenses and $3.2 billion for capital spending. The recurrent budget for education reflects a $1 billion decline when compared with the previous year. At the same time, the capital side increases by a little more than $1 billion over the sum allotted last year. The Ministry of National Security gets $41 billion for recurrent expenses. This represents $3 billion more than the amount allotted for recurrent spending this year. This year, the bulk of the increase will be going to the police force. A minor adjustment has been made to the Health Ministry's recurrent expenditure. It decreases from $33.7 billion last year to $33.4 billion this year. The Standing Finance Committee, comprising all members of the House of Representatives, will comb through the estimates of expenditure between April 19 and 21. Following this exercise, Finance and the Public Service Minister Audley Shaw will open the budget debate on April 28, providing details on how the budget will be financed. It appears the government will be honoring its commitment to pay the 24,000-strong public sector teachers retroactive sums due to them in July this year. The administration has set aside $2.5 billion in the budget this year to pay teachers based on an Industrial Disputes Tribunal ruling in October last year. Another $1.4 billion is included for general allowances to civil servants, while $700 million is earmarked to pay select public sector groups. The sums to be paid form part of the $6.7 billion set aside in the budget for contingencies. On April 14, Finance and the Public Service Minister Audley Shaw tabled the estimates of expenditure in Parliament. Key recommendations to transform the public sector will be announced in a matter of weeks. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen on April 14 told lawmakers that the government would divulge proposals on the rationalization of the public sector in the upcoming budget debate, which begins on April 28. Sir Patrick said, "It is now time for implementation, and the details and timetable will be outlined in the budget debate." The Governor General was delivering the throne speech in Gordon House, where members of the upper and lower houses of Parliament participated in the ceremonial opening of Parliament, signaling the start of the 2011-2012 legislative year. Commenting on tax reform, Sir Patrick indicated that the government would introduce measures to make changes to the country's tax system. For years, respective administrations have conducted studies on the reformation of Jamaica's tax system. Tax reform is aimed at making the country's tax system more efficient, equitable, and conducive to investment and growth. Sir Patrick told legislators that the administration was moving to urgently address the rising cost of pensions for public sector workers. According to the Governor General, pension costs for public servants had jumped by 82% in the last 4 years. The Governor General said the administration would make decisions on pension reform this year. And that's it for another edition of the Parliament Report. Thanks for having joined us. Until the next bulletin, I'm Edmond Campbell saying, walk good.